Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to episode 4 of the Mirthwood Combat Patch Guide. Today we're going to be looking at some enemy types you typically encounter in the early game of Mirthwood. So you're going to face 3 types of enemies in the beginning of the game, which are bandits, thieves, and wanderers, the human type enemies that are around the freelands. So these enemies are weak. They don't do a lot of damage, and they take a lot of damage from your attacks. But the big thing about these bandit type enemies is that after you attack them once, they tend to put up their sword to block the next one. So what you can do is you can do a strong attack and bypass that block and really take care of them quickly. For the most part, you should not be afraid of any human type enemies. They cannot do enough damage to you to really take you down, unless there's a large group of them. But even then, you should be fine. Make use of your surroundings with human type enemies because it takes so much damage. Starting off a fight with a barrel blast will put you way ahead of the engagement. So just make sure you're doing that along with all the other things we just talked about right now, which is just bypass their block with the strong attack and you'll be fine. Next enemies we're going to talk about are the wanderers. Now, wanderers, you cannot bypass their block with a strong attack. However, in order for them to put up their shield, they need to stand still. So the technique here is to poke them and move away so that they start chasing you and thus having to put down their shield so you can get another poke in and then move away in a circle. There's no need to kite enemies left or right anymore. You can just kite them around in a circle. And that'll, for the most part, be the easiest way to deal with the wanderers. If you want to throw in a couple of strong attacks here and there, that's fine. You can start off the combo with a strong attack. They'll put up their shield, you walk away a little bit, and then you hit them again with another strong attack. You can keep doing that. So here I show you how much damage one of their strong attacks does. Hardly any. So don't worry about it too much. Just make sure that you're not always constantly following up your attacks with strong attacks because they'll get blocked. Now, the next enemies we're going to talk about are thieves, or as I like to call them, assassins. The big thing about assassins to remember is that you outrange them. A poke of your sword goes further than their attack animation. So you can actually poke them out of their attack animation before it even gets off. The best way to defeat these assassins is to stay relatively close to them and just poke them. When they start their attack, you'll just knock them out of it. But if you stay far away, they'll have enough time to wind up and go all crazy across the screen. So if you stay within a relatively short distance enough to just poke them out of their attacks, you'll be fine. Even if they get a couple of hits in, don't worry too much about it. Your defense is pretty high, so you should be doing okay. The next enemies we're going to be talking about are wolves. So now, wolves are susceptible to your 3-hit combo from your sword, so keep that in mind. It stuns them for the duration, so that's actually really good. And what you want to do is you want to start your combo and finish it off, and you want to have enough energy to be able to do the 3-hit combo, so don't forget that. But for the most part, if you start off your combo and you get them 3 good hits, wolves do not have a lot of defense. So they'll go down pretty darn quickly, and they won't be able to get off that huge lunging combo that they do. The next enemies that you'll face in the early game are going to be Spriggans. So Spriggans are also a pain in the butt, but they have the same issue that the wolves do. They're susceptible to a 2-hit combo from your sword. I wouldn't go for a 3-hit combo because they can recover from the second hit and they start comboing you. But 2 hits and backing away, for the most part, should always leave you ahead of the battle. They have really low defense, so a couple of combos like that and they go down super quickly. Here it's only 3 combos that I had to do of 2 hits each and they're down. The next enemies are werewolves, and werewolves are scary, but they're actually not. Much like the assassins, the werewolves can be poked out of their attack animation. So the biggest thing about werewolves is to, 1, not be afraid. You have enough defense to tank more than one of their hits. It's not a problem. The second thing is to pretty much not be waiting for the perfect opportunity to do like a strong attack or something like that. You're better off poking them because you'll interrupt their attacks and you'll be fine. You can see I got hit more than a couple of times by the werewolf, and I just had 1 potion. I took 1 potion to continue to show you the video, but I fought a wolf alongside him. So those right here, you can see I'm up close to the werewolf, and he starts his attack, but since I'm not letting up, I'm interrupting him more often than not when he tries to lunge at me. And yeah, they're a little bit tanky, but for the most part, if you keep up your attack patterns, you're going to end up winning the battle because you're tanky enough with the armor that you currently have, and you're able to just knock him out of his attack lunges, which is great. That's really what you want to be doing with werewolves, just keep up the pressure. Werewolves can do this really long range lunge attack that if you're just running away constantly, if you're just running away constantly, it will hit you. And so you can get stun locked for a long time. So again, the best bet for a werewolf is just keep up the aggression, get in their face, and poke them down. The next enemy we're going to talk about are bears. Bears are terrible. They hit like a truck. You do not want to get hit. 3 swipes of a bear's claws will usually take you down even if you're at full health. So what do we need to do to beat a bear? Well, bears usually take 2 hits and then you can move away really easily. You'll see me go 2 hits and then walk, 2 hits and then walk. That's the best bet for the bear. You can also, I rebound my roll key to spacebar. So if I felt like the bear was getting up and I wasn't going to be able to get away in time, I just rolled past the bear. That's actually a good thing to be doing because bears are slow. So they do that attack and you can see they just go in one direction. And I'm able to kind of just reset and get my energy back up for going for the next couple of hits. What you don't want to do is you don't want to just stand toe for toe like you did with the werewolf and take hits with the bear. You really want to poke and move back and wait for the bear to kind of come to you so that you can poke him and move back. That's how you beat a bear. Alternatively, what you can do if you have a bow and arrow that's relatively strong, like a hardwood bow or something, you can kite the bear around in circles and just hit him, and that works really well too. If you don't have that, then you're just going to have to do what I was doing here, which is poking and moving away. Eventually you'll get there though. Eventually you'll get there as long as you're being careful and you're not being overzealous with your attacks. That's going to do it for today's video. I'll try to cover stronger enemies on the next one. The next patch, Night of Falling Stars, comes out on December 19th. So look out for videos for that quest line and all those new additions then. Have a good one.